We are going to be live on both YouTube and TikTok. And I'm very excited about this because I was on earlier and it was great, but if people are not tapping the screen, I just gotta go. I gotta go. So let's just start this live with knowing that as long as we are, if you're in the live, all I ask for is double tapping of the screen to like the live, to share the live, just that energy exchange is what's necessary. Because I'm here to yap, to have fun, so we are our best. And I'm live both here and the long form app with the same name, Hope is Speaking. What's up, Kevin Parker? I'm live both here and on my Hope is Speaking channel, which I typically do, but just a reminder, you can always watch me live on the long form app. Thank you, Kevin. I mean, it's a change in me. Sometimes I'm not going to say we. And all I ask again, if you're watching the live, double tap the screen. And I'm going to share this because I come on, I'm a professional speaker, I'm speaking, people are happy, they're laughing, they're learning. But I require the double tapping of the screen because number one, it just shows that energetic connection. Secondly, it pushes the live out. Thirdly, I am the best speaker on this app. Let me tell you that, okay? I'm showing up as that. But it does count to have the likes on the live. And earlier I was speaking and I said, wait a minute, I've been on here almost an hour and we have like six. Now I'm going to cut it off. I will do that. If I see that our likes just aren't increasing, because my lives will have far more likes than I've ever had, whether it's 50K, 100K likes. That's what we're doing. What's up? What's up? And I'm saying this to my live on YouTube. So that's what I asked. But Kevin Parker, yeah, I am beautiful. I will say that. And I had a whole look in mind, like you kind of have looks planned, but when I say I at times have forgotten who I am. What's up? What's up? What's up? And this is everyone on YouTube because I'm streaming both on Hope is Speaking YouTube channel as well as TikTok. Thank you, Kevin Parker. I can, but I can't if I don't remember who I am. If I don't remember who I am, then I may second guess myself. If I don't remember who I am, I may walk through the world without truly harnessing my full power. If I don't remember who I am, I may just accept anything. And it's that beauty of remembering who the hell you are. And there's phases. There's phases. And when I say remembering who you are, you have survived your worst days. You have accomplishments, whether it's graduating or certain jobs or certain purchases. You have those. And to remind yourself of that, because mofos will try to play you. And you'll even see in the way that I present my talks, it's going to be a lot different because sometimes I have forgotten the power that I possess. Sometimes I have forgotten everything that I have thrived through. I'm not saying survived, I'm saying thrive. I am no longer in that space. And thank you for continuing to like the live. So, earlier today we were talking about my trip to when I worked to Paris, and on my other account, I was canceled. I had spoken about this, how I was canceled on my other account. And it was because I was telling the story about how I was working a trip from New York to Paris while I was a flight attendant. And I worked there with a friend. And when we boarded, one of the flight attendants asked, "Hey, Hope, it's so expensive on our layovers in Paris that I'm not going to buy any food on my layover." Now, there's never a time where you buy food and you're not going to be able to make it through the month. I will say that again. If that is a case, if that is the case, and I will say specifically that we learn through life, but the simple fact is, if a sandwich, buying a sandwich or buying lunch throws off your whole entire budget for the month, that is not the job's fault. That is probably you. So anyway, she asked me, "Hey, Hope, do you have a place where I can put my sandwich and my yogurt? Because I don't want to buy food on the layover." I said, "Here, put it in this carrier," and there you go. So we worked to Paris. It's a little under 7 hours, and we landed. And to make a long story short, because I'm not going to say this whole story, she walked off the plane and forgot her food. But she then remembered and went back on the plane to go get her food. And while she was trying to get her food, we were waiting for our transportation to go to the hotel. It came. Everyone had forgotten that she was on the plane, even the pilots. So we actually got in our transportation towards our hotel, and halfway towards our hotel in Paris, as flight attendants, the driver received a call saying, "Oh, you left someone." We turned around and we got her. Now, that was the post I was canceled for, because the belief was I did that purposely. I left her. I'm a mean girl, all of these things. I don't care about that. What I care about was, yeah, it was a funny story. Yeah, to me, you're being cheap, and I'm not going to mince my words. But if the thought is me calling someone cheap is mean girl, I claim that. I don't find any insult in being called a mean girl. But beyond that, it's just a story. What it brings out of people actually has nothing to do with me. If hearing that you're cheap brings out anger, then that has hit a nerve within you. If hearing that one of your colleagues was left behind brings abandonment wounds, that again has nothing to do with me. That is something that is arising from you because of some abandonment wound, or you shouldn't treat people that way. All of that I don't care about. I'm just delivering the story. And I share this because a lot of times when you show up in life, when we show up in life, you may show up in a way that triggers someone, and they have to tell you. They have to tell you how triggering just your presence is. How triggering, thank you, Kevin Parker, for continuing to like the live. How triggering the words that you use are. How triggering just your confidence is. And confidence is triggering. I'm extremely confident because, as I said earlier, I am... no, it's a beautiful vintage silk and lace camisole clasher. That is someone asking me what my top is. I'm confident because I do what the F I want. I'm confident because all of my choices have really been based off of what I want out of life. They haven't been based off of what my parents want, what my friends want, what society wants, what people expect out of me. I don't care what anyone expects out of me. And I'm going to take it a step further. I don't even care to have approval from my parents. There was probably a time where that may have weighed heavier, but if I'm waiting from approval for anyone, what's up, T? That means I may have to show up in a way that doesn't inspire me. So if I can continue to always show up for me, I'm always going to be confident with me because the decisions I'm making are because of me. They're not because of what my religion asks of me, what society, what a boyfriend. It's because it's what I want. Because if you're making decisions off of what you want, if something doesn't work out, you can say, well, I tried. But if something doesn't work out and it was because it's what your parents wanted you to do, but you never wanted to do that, that can be disheartening. And you may actually resent them because now you failed at something that you didn't even want to do. Someone else wanted you to do that. I'm not doing that. And I find so much power in being able to say, I made these decisions. And when I speak, I always say this. My confidence is because I've worked through whatever barriers, whether it was a gender barrier or a color barrier, whatever. I've done the work where nothing gets to me because I like me. I love me. I'm confident within myself. And that's all it takes. Because when you're not, thank you for continuing to like the live. When you're not confident, everything that someone does, good afternoon, Tabo, it may be because they don't like you because of your hair or because of the color of your skin or because who you are or who you're not. I don't care. I am completely detached because my validation comes from me. My validation doesn't come from others. So there was a time where I heard someone say, you know, she wants to be a speaker. All she does is talk. Now, that doesn't do anything to me because I'm confident in my decisions and I'm confident in my talents and I'm confident in the way that I've continuously risen in what I do. But thank you. Ooh, thank you for all the roses in the chat. But if I'm looking outside of me, to my parents, to my friends, to my siblings, to the society, to whoever to give me the go and tell me what you're doing is right, I'm probably never going to be satisfied. Never. And that is the big difference. And when I was speaking this morning and I had said, listen, now when I speak, tap the screen. That's what I demand out of when I speak and life. And that's very easy to do. But let's turn this in a different way. What do you demand out of yourself? And when I say demand, that means there's no way that this is not going to happen. What do you demand out of your life? What do you demand out of your day? What is it, anything? Or is it, well, I'm just hoping to make it through the day? No, I'm going to make it through the day, but I'm never looking at it like I just made it through the day. No, I'm thriving in this day. I demand that I hydrate during the day. I demand that I have positive, high energy thoughts during the day. I demand that if I do have a thought that doesn't coincide with my highest self, I can shift that. Because both that negative thought and that positive thought, there's no there's no um, proof that either of them are real. So, this is what we were talking about this morning. I went to pick some roses from a neighbor's house, and someone in their Chrysler 300 decided to say, "Hey, I know that lady. Don't pick her roses. She's a nice lady. Do you know that lady? I don't think you should do that. Get your hands off her rose bush." And I was like, "Yo, I don't even know why you hopped out of your Chrysler 300. What's up, Terrence? Your Chrysler 300, first of all, to tell me not to pick some roses. Thank you for the gift, Terrence. I haven't seen you on, but have I been on? I haven't been on as much, but I usually see you on. So the lady hopped out of her Chrysler 300 to tell me to stop picking some roses, which uh, you don't need to do that. But here are the three things. As I told you, I knew the person that I was picking the roses from. I knew them. So when the neighbor said, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. Do you know her? Tell me her name. Go and knock on her door and ask." I was like, well, first of all, no. Second of all, I don't need your permission. Who are you? I don't need your permission. And thirdly, I just don't have to engage in this. But when I started with my confidence comes from me validating myself, it's because there's nothing in me that says this woman needs to be proven wrong. I don't need to prove anything to this woman. I actually don't even need to talk to this woman. I know she believes she's doing something great. But you interrupted me as I'm listening to Beyonce. I'm listening to Beyonce. I'm on my morning movement. And you hop out of your Chrysler 300 to tell me not to pick some roses? How dare you? How dare you? So, as I was speaking about this in this morning's live, there were three things. Number one, I get to choose. Meaning, the moment that the woman said you shouldn't be doing that, she doesn't even know that the person that I'm picking the roses, thank you for continuing to like the live. We're halfway to 10,000. She doesn't know I'm close friends with the person that I'm picking she doesn't know any of that. So her lack of knowledge of the story already leaves her without knowledge that would change this whole story. Secondly, I don't actually need to inform her of that. Thirdly, I actually don't have to engage. And I'm sharing this because also often, most people think I have to engage. I have to correct this person. I have to stand up for myself. She won't get away from this. She doesn't like me because I'm beautiful and tall and skinny and have chiseled biceps and the perfect I don't know. I don't care. It's before 8 in the morning. I'm not going to argue with you, but I get to choose. I get to choose. This doesn't have to change my day. I don't even have to interact with this person. No one's in the wrong. I truly believe, thank you, Dead Poets. Yeah, I'm back to hope. It took some things. We will talk about that, but yeah. And I'm growing out my hair. Side note, no one on TikTok has really seen me with hair. And you will see why I just decided to buzz it all off, because I have beautiful hair. But let me talk about that. I get to define what's beautiful. Thank you, T. You've seen my hair all types of ways. My hot pink buzz cut, my fade, my blonde, my silver hair, my little curls, my longer curls, different colors. Now it's growing out because I got to stun on people. Sometimes I like doing that because, as I said, when I was canceled, Yeah, I mean, I change my hair all the time. In fact, this is a brand new color. This is like a warm brownish color. I just had my hair dyed a couple days ago. You gotta switch it up. Um, but I don't believe I'm only beautiful if my hair is long or if my hair is straight. No, I get to say I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful right now with my hair buzzed off, with my hair long and curly, with makeup, without makeup. I tell myself that. I claim that. It's not any other way. I'm only beautiful. No. And you can do this too. You get to claim your power. I claim my power. And it's not that I lost my power, but I was in a lesson of reclaiming my power. And that's beautiful too. Because as I say, thank you for continuing to like the live. We're almost, you see, this is why I love when my hopefuls come in. Dead Poets Jams, I always love seeing you in here. T, Kevin, because you know what time it is. I will continuously say double tap the live because it's important to have the live liked. And Terrence, what are you saying heck yeah to? And I gotta get my likes up. But the lesson was, as I said, there's no failures in life. There's only lessons. And sometimes the lesson is understanding the power that you hold. You've never lost it. Maybe you're just in a lesson of getting back to your power. And that was my lesson. I'm always in a space of power, but in your fullest space of power, no mofo can say anything to me. And in reality, no one can. And I've said that because, as I said, I don't even listen to my parents. So why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to you? If my parents, I don't listen to them, why would I listen to you? A colleague, a friend, a random stranger. I listen to me. I trust me. I believe in me. I speak up for me. I learn lessons from myself. In addition, I've lived an incredible life. I have never wanted that very predictable life. I've actually never even seen myself in one space for an entire year. I've always enjoyed, you're here for the winter and then you're here for the other part of the year. And my time as a flight attendant, I haven't really had the experience of being one place for almost 2 decades. But I built my life purposely like that. And if someone doesn't understand that, that's okay. That's not for them to understand. But it's for me to be so confident that if someone doesn't understand, that has nothing really to do with me. What someone thinks about my life has nothing to do with me. What someone thinks about me has nothing to do with me. Here's how you do that. Others' opinions aren't the starting ground for an argument. Meaning, if someone says, this is my religion, that is not the starting ground to say, hey, I don't believe in your religion. I don't like your religion. Your religion is wrong. It's a space of allowing it to exist. One of the biggest indicators of intelligence is just allowing another opinion to exist. How you feel about me, number one, is I don't care. That's none of my business. But how you feel about me has nothing to do with me. Nothing. It is coming from all of the calculations in your brain from the moment you were born until right now. That's it. That has nothing to do with me. And if I know that, number one, I don't have to defend. I don't need to defend. I'm worthy because I exist. My worthiness doesn't come from showing you, telling you, letting you know. I don't care about that. I'm not having high blood pressure. I'm not arguing with folks. This is why when the lady came up to me while I was picking the roses, it's too early to even start an argument, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to pick the rose and I'm going to leave. That's it. But that's my choice. That's my choice to understand that I have enough composure and self-control where I don't look at everything as a fight. Thank you, Dead Poets Jams. Nothing is a fight. Nothing is a fight. Because a fight means someone has to win. I already won because I woke up. I already won just because I'm me. I already won just because I've said I've won. This thinking of, what's up, Andre? This thinking, this awning is like, hold on, guys. Hold on. Damn it. Okay. It did what it needed to do. You should be what people consider full of yourself because there's some greatness in you. I don't know what it is. Don't blow away. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to, but you know. When I'm sharing with you this story about the roses, it was simply because I was thinking of other people, and most people, it is, but it's always a nice day. We've talked about that, T. Every day is a nice day. It could be snowing outside, and you know I don't really like the snow, but I will ensure it's a great day because it is. The weather, let's talk about that. I don't care about the weather. And I don't care about the weather. Thank you, Dead Poets Jams, for sharing the live. We're already at 10,000. We're halfway to 20,000. And my phone batteries are both charged up, so I'm just going to talk and talk and talk. I will thank you for liking and getting us up to 10,000. We got to keep tapping the screen. Nia, what's up? But I've shared my time as a flight attendant. That's what taught me, who cares about the weather? And I don't care about the weather because that's just like the obstacles when you're going towards something in life. So if I say I want to do a TED Talk, but the TED Talk, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But the TED Talk, I don't know how to be selected. But all of that will come. I am looking at the goal. I'm never looking at the obstacles. So the same thing with the weather. If I say I'm going out shopping, I'm going grocery shopping, and then I'm going to go get my nails done and I'll go get a massage, I am not going to say I'm not going to do that because it's snowing. I'm not going to do that because it's raining. I'm not going to do that because the sun's not out. I will take an umbrella, put on rain galoshes, put on a coat, put on a hat. I will just prepare for the elements, but the elements don't stop me. If the elements stop you, if you're affected by the weather, meaning I was going to do this, but now I'm not, you didn't want it that bad. What's up, misdemeanor? You didn't want it that bad. And when I say you didn't want it that bad, I, not so often, because I have to tell you this. The moment I hear any lack of confidence, I'm not going to be around you. So if this is a friend of mine, if this is the, yeah, but one is enough, Clasher. I'm talking to someone on my YouTube live because I'm streaming on both. So subscribe to Hope is Speaking YouTube. I was interacting with someone, and they, we were talking about, let's say we were talking about drinking soda. Thank you for sharing the live, Dead Poets Jams, with more than 10 people. Thank you. And I don't drink soda, but I don't care what people do. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink soda too. What you do is what's best for you. So she had said, yeah, I drink soda, but I only do it because it reminds me of something in childhood, and I only do it. But now you're defining why you choose to do something in your life, which is really rooted in you feeling that you have to give me a reason why. You never have to give me a reason why you're showing up in life. In fact, I don't care. It does say something about a lack of confidence in you, because I don't explain. I don't explain, but I don't have a need to explain. And I also don't explain because, again, my validation comes from me. My validation doesn't come from, do these people like me? Do they like what I do? Do they disagree with the things that I do? My validation comes from me. And to validate yourself, a lot of times it's a lot of alone time, which is powerful. Time with yourself allows you to hear your thoughts, to sit with yourself, to grow with yourself, to cry, to talk to yourself, whatever it is. But it takes courage to be with yourself. If you speak to people, one of the most frightening things is to be alone with themselves. Not just be alone, not in a relationship, but to be alone with themselves. And we will continue to tap on the live on TikTok. But thank you, Nia. Also, going through difficult things. Going through difficult things brings the confidence, because if you have, as I've shared, I've lived where I wanted to live, but it's because I just said, I want to live where I want to live. I don't want to live, I love myself. I am my best friend. I love being with myself because I am my best friend. And I guard my time and energy. I'm not just kicking it with anyone. I'm not even having a conversation with just anyone, let alone just being around anyone. Because my time and energy and luck and power is a luxury. Not everyone will have a door to walk into that. Because if you're around me, I'm beautiful, I'm funny, I'm witty, I have a great outlook on life, but I possess a certain magic. I can't just be giving my magic away. And that comes from confidence, because you will interact with people that will say, I don't like being alone. So you'll be around just anyone. I'm not going to be around just anyone. I'm not just out of the lack of not wanting to be alone. In fact, I'm always going to choose myself. If it's between a relationship or myself, I'm choosing myself. If it's between Myself, meaning my mental clarity, my health, my dreams, or some job, I will choose myself. I'm always going to choose myself. Why would I not? And choosing oneself is that act of freedom, is that act of rebellion, is the act of confidence. Wait a minute. I'd rather choose me, be with me, sit with me, because this ain't up to the bar of what I allow in my life. So I'm not choosing you. You're not even choosing me. In reality, you're not even choosing yourself. But I'm going to choose my ass every time. Every time. And I've shared that, especially in relationships. I'm never going to separate with anyone for another person or another relationship. If I'm separating from someone, it's simply because I'd rather be with me. And I'm okay with that. I'd rather be with me. In fact, being with me is the better option compared to being in a relationship with you. I'm going to choose the relationship with me. How you process that, how you feel that, is the lesson for you and me, but I'm choosing me. And what that has felt like was, oh yeah, this ain't exactly what I want. I had this thought earlier today when I was on this walk. If you're new to my live, you know I was a flight attendant. I've been to a bunch of, like, 70 countries. I've lived where I want. I've lived in a bunch of places. I've always seen myself having homes around the world. And so I know where I want to live. I know even more where I don't want to live. And this isn't because, oh, I've been to Seattle once and I like it, or I've been to Miami once. No, I've been to these places hundreds, if not thousands of times. And then I have friends there and I would spend time there. So when I say I know where I want to be, I know where I want to be, I know where I don't want to be. To me, buying a home and living somewhere is never an investment. I am only going to live where I want to live, and I'm going to have the home that I want. It's an investment in me. It's not an investment as in a financial investment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Nia. And I've been seeing your content. You really coming up. You taking it seriously. I saw your digital product. I saw you even put some content out about voting for what people want to see. I believe in your land ownership. It's not a course. I believe it's a digital product. So anyone who's in the chat, I'm just going to pin your comment. Ms. Nia has been a long time hopeful, and for everyone on my YouTube live, I'm on TikTok at Hope is Speaking as well, and I'm speaking to the hopefuls in the chat. Of course I saw it. It always, I follow you, it comes up, and it made me smile. Nia is a courageous woman who is doing new things to create the life that she wants. And she has owned land, and now she's putting out products, educating people on land ownership. So I pinned her comment. Go follow her. She goes live, and now she has her own sort of digital products, and I'm very proud of you. And keep it up. So yeah, I saw it. Thank you, Stevie. What's up, Stevie? And thank you for continuing to like the live. So with pleasure. I see you, girl. I know you. I see you. It looks good on you. So when you do things like that, especially if you're in a place in life where you're saying, F it, F this, I'm in this position, and you know what? It's time. And I'm just going to start putting out this digital product, or speaking, or selling cookies, or building an app, or whatever. That's when you're just like, I'm doing this. I'm not going backwards. And there's no other option but for me to win. Thank you, Stevie. And I know. I definitely know. I do look amazing. I had this whole look in my head because whenever I come on, trust me, from being a makeup artist, knowing how to do hair, being a model, I have actually done. See, this is where my confidence come from. I've done what I wanted to do. So the eyebrows are on point. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is a lovely comment. When a man compliments your eyebrows, that's like heartwarming. Your eyebrows are beautiful. Here are some beautiful flowers. And you know what? I just sent you a grand to go shopping. Who wouldn't like that? In fact, a grand, 10 grand. Great. I love that. I love that. And yes, eyebrows are looking great. Everything's looking great. I'm glowing from the inside out because I should glow. When you continue to build yourself from the circumstances that life has given you, you glow. I don't care what happens in life, I'm gonna win. Of course they do. Are you serious, Stevie? Stop. Yes, and they're my beautiful red. Let me see. Can you see my beautiful red? Of course. And look at how the sun is just. This ain't no lighting setup. This is the sun, honey. Okay, this is the sun. This is the glow. Thank you for liking the live. We're over 13,000 likes. But I shared with you how my father died. I shared with you how I moved from Maui after my father died to my parents' home. I shared with you the depths of grieving because I liked my dad. I loved my father. And it's still a journey. I've shared with you all of these things. And it built me into something. So when I say thank you, Nia, for sharing the live with more than 10 people, I appreciate that. Thank you, Cece. Yeah, I do always, I'm very classic in that because I'm a star. I love my just sexy, square, glossy red nails, natural nails, not with like acrylic or anything, but I change up the reds, but it's typically always red, and everyone knows. But going through that, through separations with people in your lives, whether that's a relationship or a friendship or family, this shit is hard. This is why I'm glowing, because I've navigated all of that without saying, why me? Sometimes I did, but most of the time I said, why not me? Hope you've gotten through this. You can get through anything. Why not me? Why not me? I'm built for this. Don't ever try to compete against me. You've already lost because I don't even see you as competition. What's up, cool Aaron? I'm my competition. I'm never looking at anyone as competition. Here's the other thing. As confident as I am, you can't win. It's me. And even with that belief comes from learning the depths of grief and how I was able to navigate and come out. Learning that, yeah, I'm going to speak. I'm going to do that. Why would you leave flying? Well, I would never leave flying. Well, you're not me. You haven't done what I've done. In fact, you haven't even done what you want to do because you're too afraid to take the chance. I'm too afraid not to take the chance. There's a difference. There's a big difference. You're too afraid to take the leap. I've already leaped to see what's in store for me. What's up, Sister Slim Bones? I've already leaped. Thank you for the heart me. And I mean that. If you are too afraid to take the leap, you don't want it bad enough. I'm too afraid not to take the leap. Counselor Cat Mom. Woo! I'm so glad you're here. I'm always going to take the leap. I don't care what you guys say. Y'all are boring to me. Do you see this glow? Do you see these eyebrows, makeup, hair? This is done by me. I don't care what I'm going through in life. I am always going to look and feel my best. It has. Let me also share with you something. There's a lot of individuals that may think that you are in the worst position, and they will see that you're growing and thriving and looking good and having a bright outlook. And they'll be mad at that. I don't care what's going on in life. I'm always going to look my best. And I tell you that because I take a lot of pride in doing my nails, but I taught myself to do my nails from going to salons around the world. It is an act of love to myself. But I've taught myself to give myself a professional manicure or pedicure with the best tools. I don't care what I'm going through. I don't care about the money in my account. I'm always going to look fantastic. Because I had a friend of mine said, well, I'm going to start doing my makeup, when things start popping off. I said, well, things aren't going to start popping off. You have to do it now. If you're going to wait till your stuff starts popping off, why would it pop off? Because you're seeing that as separate from you. You're seeing that as a different time, a different timeline. When I get there, you have to become it now. You have to become it now. And when I say that, it's because I'm already the famous speaker or content creator that I see myself as. I'm already that. It's not when I get there. No, I embody it. That's just it. That's just it. When I said I am going to do a TED Talk, I did not say, well, when the TED people contact me, I will feel like I'm ready. No, I'm ready, and that's why it comes. I don't need anything. But to embody it now is when everything just flows. To embody it now, you understand that there is no separation from me now and what I want. Because I have it now. I have it now. Maybe it's just aligning or something, but I'm showing up as it now. And when I shared about there is no failures, it's just lessons. The lesson of learning to heal yourself is one of the biggest lessons. The lesson to be able to sit with yourself, to be with yourself, to not feel ashamed or guilty for asking for what you need. And then walking away if you're not given what you need. If you can't provide me with what I need, then that's okay. But I will go and give it to myself or find something that's more aligned where it's given to me. But I'm not going to constantly beg and ask if someone can't provide what I need. Because that's no longer their issue. That's my issue. I do not chase, I attract. It's just brought to me. But that comes from an area of confidence. Where I can say, okay, this ain't it. So I can just choose me. I can heal me. In fact, I am the love that I seek. Thank you for liking the live. We're at 15.5K. So you're the most powerful when you're ready, when you can walk. I saw some content that said the most powerful person in a negotiation is the one that's not afraid to walk away. I'm never afraid to walk away. I will never, from anything. I will walk away from anything. I will walk away from anything. How do you cut? If it ain't it, it's go. That's what I was just about to say, Cece. Yes, 20K coming soon. Okay, I'm going to pin your comment, Cece. How do you choose yourself when it comes to a job? I've always chosen myself when it came to a job when it no long when I hit the ceiling. So I've shared with you the first job. First of all, I wasn't able to work in high school. My parents said, my dad told me my job was to be a student. Anything I need, my parents will give to me. And I was I was a well taken care of kid. I got to wear the clothes, buy the clothes that I wanted. We would go on vacation. We would go out to eat. I had everything. I never lacked for anything. I was given an allowance, and I worked in my dad's office. Now, working in my dad's office, that's when I knew I don't want to work in an office always, and I don't want a 9 to 5 job where Monday through Friday I'm in an office with fluorescent lighting and people gossiping around the water cooler. I don't want that. That's not fun to me. And my father also traveled for work and was an entrepreneur. So I saw that element of life. I saw it all. I saw the business of religion and churches and how to form a 5013C and how to form an LLC and how to budget or how to walk in faith, really manifesting. But this was all through faith and Christianity. So my first job was in my dad's office, licking envelopes, answering phones. And then from there, again, I'm telling you this because I have a family where a lot of people have their own businesses. So, and this is how I see wealth. Wealth is the ability to say, my kid doesn't have to go out and get a job. They work for me, or I put them on my payroll, or they've shadowed me. That's wealth to me. Sure, a handbag and all that, but having the choices for family. So I worked in a cousin's insurance adjustment agency where you go and you really work for the lawyer. You just go through all the paperwork that is submitted from the insurance and say, okay, we need to know the location where the auto accident occurred, and I would have to go through all the papers. It's like all paperwork. You're just going through boxes of paperwork for lawyers, almost like a paralegal. And I was like 19, 18, 19, maybe 20 at the time, and it was at least $50 an hour. I think it was $50 an hour. And this was in 2003, okay? This was in 2003. So I'm like, yeah, 19, $50 an hour working for my cousin. And my sister got us fired because her ass showed up late. Like she showed up late. I was going on time. I was suited and booted. I was always dressed appropriately in my business casual attire. I was always on time. My dad hooked my sister up. She got us there late. She was in like jeans. We got fired. So yeah, we're back, and we're back. I'll take Amanda too. What's up, Mama Peg? Thank you. We're almost at 20K likes. That's what I said. That's all I asked for. Are double tap the screen if you are listening to what I have to say. So after that, yeah, that's all right. The other job was, I was a makeup artist. Now, Cece said, how do you choose between you and your job? Again, I have to stress this. I never saw, my mom didn't work. I never saw my dad say, I hate this job. I don't want to go to this job. This job is taking the life out of me. I never saw that. I also saw someone who took time off and taught us how to relax and how to rest, especially as an entrepreneur, but just in life. I was never taught that you work, work, work until you pass out. I've also been shown the idea of doing what you like, not just doing anything for money. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. In fact, I don't want to do anything for money, to be completely honest. The goal is always to just do what I love, and money flow to me in several sources. But even to say my job, no, I do what I want. That's the coolest thing in the world. That is the coolest thing in the world. Exactly. You saw something and then you transmuted it. You changed it. You were shown the opposite and you chose to do something different. That is power. That is power. When people say, I don't have, that is power. That can be you. That is transmuting. Because there are people that would say, I had a parent that abused alcohol, and that's why I abuse alcohol. Or you will hear someone say, I had a parent that abused alcohol, and that's why I do not drink alcohol. That is power. You were demonstrated something and you chose different. You chose what was for you. You chose it because you always have the power. That's why I say no one can make me upset, because I get to choose. I don't care what's demonstrated. I get to choose, how am I going to direct this? Is this for my benefit? Yeah, transmuting energy and choosing different. I'm choosing different. When Cece said, how do you choose between yourself or the job? You know when you don't want to be at the job. I will leave a job. I don't care. Thank you. And overflowing. I love that. I don't care. So choosing myself actually has the same feeling. Whether it's choosing myself in a relationship, whether it's choosing myself in anything in life, but a job, I'm never going to think I have to keep this job. That's never something that's constant with me. If I can leave being a flight attendant, people don't leave these spaces that I've actually been in, because number one, they're great spaces. Being a flight attendant, listen, flight attendants create beautiful lives. They make excellent money. I don't know, contrary to the belief, and I'm a beautiful woman, I'm always going to make it work. I don't care how much my first year's salary is. I'm going to make it pop in the best way. That's not cool to say, I didn't have any money, we couldn't. Girl, go and make it shake. Make it work. If it's not your beauty, it's your ability to speak. If it's not your ability to speak, it's your ability to see your way past through. Like me and my friends, I've always had gorgeous friends, but we all had superpowers. I'm the talker. I'm charismatic. I have great energy. Send me up to the front door, okay? We aren't waiting in line anyway, because all of my girlfriends are beautiful from different countries, different shades of brown. They're just beautiful. But I'm the talker. I am the talker. Another friend was great at just navigating, like, okay, Hope, this is who you're going to go talk to and what you're going to say. And then I'm going to do this and this is what's going to happen. She can see past certain things. She can see certain things. There's another one who was beautiful and she was just able, she had that air of finesse where doors just open. But I'm never going to think I don't have it financially, so it can't be mine. Money is only one channel. Money is one channel. There's so many channels that things can come to you in life. And I remember someone saying, well, I need a job. I need a job if I lost my job. I said, no, you don't need a job. You want money. Money doesn't have to come from it. You want money. Do not think that you being taken care of, especially with money, only will come in the way of a job. Because if you see it that way, that's the only way that it will come. But it could be someone say, hey, yo, you're really good at digital products. Can I pay you to make digital products? Now that's turned into a revenue source, but it came to you in a certain channel. Someone may just say I like what you do. I just want to give you this amount or present you with this opportunity or this project. But the belief of I can only have it if I have this thing called a job. Now, that's also one channel. Having the job and it's not a radical way of thought. It's actually easier once you do it. But this is I shared with you when I was a makeup artist, I got to a certain level where I said, okay, I love this, but is this what I want to pour more into? Do I want to dedicate 10 years to this? Do I want to become the best makeup artist, an international makeup artist, a makeup artist for someone? That's what I thought. Thank you, Paula Kane, for sharing the live. What I thought I wanted, but I actually wanted to get into fashion. I actually wanted to model. I actually wanted, if that's the case, just go model. Don't try to become a makeup artist to model, just become a model. But the skill of learning makeup is something that I use now because I am a professional makeup artist. I can tell my future makeup artists, this is the look I want. Thank you. Instead of, well, can you do a little shimmer here? I could say, I told my mom, because this is how I think. I'm the whole conglomerate. See yourself as the conglomerate. I am the hairstylist. I am the artistic director. I am the speaker. I am the makeup artist. I am the digital strategist. I am the accountant. I'm it all. So it will all come to me in different forms. I just believe that. And so when I left, and I was working for Macy's at the time at the benefit counter, it was just because, all right, I've reached a level where I need more. I'm still young. I was I don't know, probably 20. Yeah, I was 20. I wasn't able to drink, but obviously I was still drinking. And so I said, I think I was at City College at this time, or I was just about to quit City College because I was I'm not going to invest any more time into going to school. Nah, I got it. And so I was at Macy's and I was one of the top salespeople and makeup artists, but I was all right, I'll either go to aesthetic school, which I was just about to enroll in the Paul Mitchell School of Aesthetics, because I said I love skincare, I can be an esthetician, and I can learn makeup and cosmetology, so I can travel as a makeup artist. But as soon as I quit, I had, while I was working at Macy's, people offered for me to be their own makeup artists for their own events. And people knew I was a good makeup artist, but I was great at sales. People loved me as their makeup artist. Can you imagine me being your makeup artist? Everyone falls in love with me. And so I would have all of these women that were it's hope. I want hope. I want hope. So other counters, other brands, Bobbi Brown, Laura Mercier, Lancome, Chanel, NARS, Clinique, Estee, all of those brands, they know me. The people that worked at the counters in Macy's at that time all knew me. So I said, hey, I can actually quit Macy's, and if I want to, I have enough connections where people will hire me to be their makeup artist. Then I actually have more control over my schedule. Working in Macy's is cool. I like the discount, but I'm not trying to work myself into a higher position of retail. Like that was not aspiring to me. I don't care about being associated with Macy's. I don't even care unless I'm the CEO. And this is why I'm saying I will always choose me over a job. I'm always going to be the biggest asset to any other company, brand, or place that I'm in. So I have to be that for me. I thought about it, but nah, I can just be a buyer and be contracted out. What I'm telling you is, yeah, but I would be my own buyer and I'm contracted out. So you pay me, but I'm putting equity into me. I'm not going to continue to put equity into your brand. I am the asset. And now I know the buyers and I know that job, but I can just be, hold on. I can just be someone that I'm a contractor. And even that, I mean, it's cool, but it was always going to lead back to me having my own thing, period. That's the long goal. That's the long-term goal. But again, Macy's was, again, this was the early 2000s. And I had known Macy's because I was a kid that shopped at Macy's. My mom was, okay, takeaway, it would have happened faster. It happened at the time it was supposed to happen. Because to say it would have happened faster means somewhere I messed up. You got to the point where it was supposed to be accelerated. And I do like the discount. Here's the other thing. A discount even won't keep me. Because I thought about that. Let me hydrate. I thought about that while working at the Laura Mercier benefit counter because we got gratis. So you got like $600 every 6 months of makeup. You got to choose $600 worth. And whenever something new came out, they would give it to us and then we would get gifts. And then like you could go to any counter and they would like test out something for you. So if I wanted a lipstick, they would make it a tester and just give it to me. So you can get that all within the working in cosmetics. And that was great. And people would say, well, I don't want to give up my free makeup. Here's the thing. I get that, but I can give it up because there's going to be a point where I'll always have money to pay for it, or I'm so influential, you'll give it to me. Those are the two channels that it will come. I don't think about, oh, I can only get it for free. Well, sure. But I can also, I'll always have more than enough money to purchase it. And I am so influential that it will be given to me. That shifts that thought of, I do not want to give up free makeup. I'm never giving it up because the goal is to have the makeup or skincare. I can still have it. I can just buy it. I know the people in the cosmetics section, so they'll probably give me a bunch of samples or they'll give it to me. Or I'm so influential that it'll come to me. You see, that is that power that I'm telling you about. The same thing, that's something small, but what I'm sharing this because it doesn't matter in the form that it comes. I'm never saying at any job for the benefit. That's with makeup. Imagine if you could continue to fly around the world for free. So, Here's the thing, I've already done it. Number one, and I'm talking about me retiring from flying. I've already done it since I was 22 years old. I've been traveling the world as my beautiful self. And I'm not your, I've had the most illustrious flying career ever. Flight attendants don't have careers like me. And I say that because I did not take that for granted. My beautiful self gets to gallivant around the world. I am gallivanting. I'm out of here. I'm around the world on on layovers. I'm out in the streets. I'm meeting people. I'm going to places on off days. Like, I am out. I am seeing the world. And the world needs to see me. But imagine doing that for basically your entire, what people would say, prime years. All of my 20s and most of my 30s. I've been doing that. It's not that it gets old, but you do get to a point where you've done something enough. Not to say I'm not traveling or I don't travel, but I spent years going to Paris 3-4 times a month, or spending a month in Paris, or I lived in London and then traveled around the world. Like, you can't even conceptualize it. But because of that, I know I'm always going to do it. It's just like the makeup. I'm always going to travel. In fact, at this point, I want to travel at the highest level of luxury and comfort. I've worked every plane. I've flown on every plane. I've flown on so many different carriers, first class, business, and flight attendants help flight attendants out. So even if I bought a zone ticket, which is what us as flight attendants, we can buy tickets on any carrier in the world for like pennies, penny for nothing. So when I went to a friend of mine's wedding in Nigeria, I was going to take my company, but I don't like flying on any US based carrier. I don't like US based carriers. Let's double tap the live. We are almost at 20,000 and we're going to keep going up from there, but we're at 17.4. We can double tap this screen. And typically, I always go through Frankfurt because Frankfurt, Germans are so efficient. They are efficient and everything is on time and they're clean and they're orderly. And I like going through Frankfurt. I like going through Frankfurt Airport because it has a full grocery store. And so I go get like German yogurt, which is the absolute best, and like German cheese, a baguette, mustard, like, and London, Heathrow, Frankfurt, which is in Germany, Frankfurt, Maine, and Paris, Charles de Gaulle, are the 3 busiest airports in Europe. So I think about this. A lot of, like, you can go through London and get to Nigeria because there's all Nigerians and London, especially since the Brits colonized Nigeria. So I knew I could go through London, you can go through Paris, you can go through Germany. I like going through Germany, but I said, no, I'm going to go a different route. And I bought a zone employee discounted ticket from New York to Paris and then Paris to Lagos. And I bought it on Air France. So we pay, I think I paid round trip. I think I paid 50 US dollars, 50 or 100. Let's say it was 100. But I always would bring chocolates So I went first. I went to, yeah, I mean, it's nothing, but this is what we've all been doing. Like, I've been doing this since I first started flying. Um, so I flew from New York to Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and then I purchased round trip, I believe. No, maybe it was one way. One way from Paris to Lagos. I purchased a ticket from Air France with our zonal employee discount. And I purchased like the economy because you can purchase first class, but we always purchase economy and the flight attendants will move us up. So I think, yeah, it might have been between 30 and 50 US dollars for me to purchase the ticket like the day of. I think it was the day of or the day before, because it doesn't matter the day. If you do it 2 months before or 2 hours before, the price doesn't change. So I'm used to just doing it the day before or the night before. I don't really do much planning. So I flew from New York to Charles de Gaulle, bought the ticket, and I bought chocolates because we always give the flight attendants chocolates. And I got onto the flight and I let them know, hey, I'm a flight attendant flying. This is the airline I'm with. Here's some chocolates. They're like, oh, this is great. How nice. Okay, we're going to move you up. So they moved me up to first class on Air France. What is that called? It's called Club. Yeah, they just moved me up. So I paid, I know it wasn't more than 50 US dollars. And they just moved me up to first class for my flight from Paris to Lagos and came and gave me a bunch of champagne. Now, this is when I was still, I had gotten back into drinking. Because the reason why I stopped drinking is because I'm telling you the story of how I went to a friend's wedding in Nigeria. He had been my flatmate in London. Thank you. 10 years before. But I was traveling the way I'm telling you about these trips. I would just do that. I would get off and say, okay, where should we go? Or someone would say, hey, come to this country, and I would just go. It was so normal. It was like really taking a bus. And especially in Europe, air travel is significantly less, but I also had all of my zonal employee discounts. So I would go to Berlin. I really like Berlin. I think Berlin's a really cool city. I like Berlin. For a few days and just explore and meet people. And you always just meet people when you're out. And all of this became so normal that that's what I would do in my life regardless if I was a flight attendant or not. Like, I'm sharing this because I was able to walk away from the airline because I'm going to fly regardless. I was used to not really paying for my flights anyway because my dad used to buy our flights. Or I think I was really good at finding discounted flights, but this was in the early 2000s. This was before now. What's up? What's up, Lalita Steen 525? So I've been traveling all the time. And let me tell you this. This goes with cities because when I moved to DC, which I wanted to, I don't like New York. I could have had the option like you can move to New York. I don't want to move to New York. New York is gross. New York is a dump. New York is like, New York can be great for a few days, but I don't like New York. It's gross to me. It's gross. I'm not connected to nature. It has really weird, like, heavy, hard, masculine energy. I am. I am. I had said this a couple years. You guys are about to see because my hair is amazing. Straight, curly, whatever color. That's why I do whatever with it because my hair is amazing. I am not afraid to just buzz it off. But now I got a stun on folks because they said that I had Karen hair. I told you all of the things on my other account that I got canceled on. They said I had Karen hair. They were like, of course, you're a mean girl. That's why your hair is bad. One person said, because I called someone cheap, they said, you should stop counting people's pockets and save some money to get a new wig because your wig looks like a Tyler Perry wig. I was like, this isn't even a wig. It was hilarious to me because people are dumb, especially on the internet, but people are just dumb. When I'm telling you, I can walk away from a city, I can walk away from a bad comment, I can detach. I've had it all. They were going in on me, like, of course my hair is gorgeous. My hair is really gorgeous in every way. In every way. Like, buzzed, straight out of the water, grown out, beautiful afro. Like, it doesn't matter. It is awesome because I'm awesome. So what was I talking about? DC. I moved to DC because this Central Valley of California is diverse, but diverse is diverse in different ways. So there's areas of the country that are diverse with specific populations. And DC had, I always saw myself as like a president's wife. Now I see myself as the president, but I've always seen myself as the wife of a president, or like, not a dictator. It would have to be a president. Like, if I had to choose, I don't know. The dictator may be kind of a cool life to live. See, I'm not opposed to any of that. That could be a cool, dictator's wife. That could be really cool. That could be really cool. You'd be fly as heck. Oh, yeah, and have your security detail. See, I really think like this. Like, of course, yeah, that could happen. Like, she married a dictator. What? Well, if the opportunity presents itself, you got to make the best out of these opportunities. But DC had the mix that I wanted. New York is like a dump. I don't like New York. But DC has that element of cool. DC is Chocolate City. DC is go-go music. DC has obviously its academia community. DC has a thriving just communities and history. And a sexiness and, government and all of that. And these, DC is amazing. DC parties are amazing. DC, what I loved, especially as a young woman, it is the best place to date. It was like the best place for me to start because I moved to DC at 22 and you have no topic, friends. Just sit and listen. Let's get the live up to 20 grand again. 20 grand. That's the man. Double tap the screen. Yeah, DC. It was definitely DC over New York. But as I said, like, dating wise, you have 1 in 6 people in DC is like a lawyer. So you have a bunch of lawyers. You have just local people from DC. You have people that came and went to schools and are working in some private or public sector. You have government people. You have athletes. You have like foreign diplomats. Like, you have a great mix. If you are a beautiful young woman, you get to meet like people, and not even just a beautiful woman, just a person. You get to meet all of these interesting people. And flying out of DC was a lot of these like government people and diplomats. Thank you. We are almost at 20 grand. Continue to tap and like the live. So I'm sharing that because DC was cool, but it wasn't it. Like, I love DC. DC has a part of me. Virginia does. I lived in Virginia for a little bit when I first moved to DC. And then I moved into the district, and I remember clubbing in DC was great, but I went to Obama's first inauguration because that was great. That first inauguration, that was a crazy week. That was so much fun. It was so cold on his inauguration, but I was there, and one of my friends was going to Howard. She was a journalism major, and she's hilarious. She was interning at CNN. So she had all of the press passes for Obama's inauguration. And so we went to all of these, like, oh, it was great, to these great parties. And it was just a feeling being there in DC, even as cold as it was. Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, definitely. She was hilarious. So we would drink so much. And she was my first friend, my friend Megan, who oddly enough now is living in London. She came and saw me in London, and we had like the best time. We had the best time. But she was my first friend when I moved to DC from California. Remember, I was saying, I'm never going to say I don't have enough money to get it. I'm going to make sure I get it. But money comes to me with ease. There's always something that I love to do that people pay me to do it because I do it so well. And that's important. If you do something you love and you do it so well, people pay to have you do it, you've unlocked the secret key to life. Because who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to do that? Like, so many people hate their jobs. But not even hate their jobs. It's like, my mom had been talking to me. Thank you for continuing to like the live. We are almost at 20,000. That is the goal, to get to 20,000. She was sharing about my sister's place occupation. And she works for the Department of Treasury. And how there may be a shift for her. And my mom was saying, you can't, let me adjust this light. Hold on. There we go. You can't get much better than this. she was telling me about my sister's job, and I was like, of course she can. Of course she can. This is not like her dream occupation. Like, and even to say, well, it can't get this much better because I get to work from home. I have a supportive team. I make a good amount of money. They give me time off whenever I want. Yeah, but what about if it's what you want to do? This is a skill and you're good at it. And yeah, but what about if it was all on your terms? Like, I can only have my life on my terms. Like, with working, I've only done what I've loved. And if I don't love it, I just will have to figure it out. Like, I'm not going to do something just as a job. I mean, I guess I have, but like, what was I even talking about? Oh, I was a makeup artist and I met Megan. I did makeup at Macy's and I always did makeup. So when I moved to DC to be based, I don't know how much we made, to be completely honest. Because when I moved to DC, I immediately contacted the Lancome at the mall. I contacted the DC rep for Lancome, and I got their information from my Lancome people, even though they fired me because I took a 3-hour break. Well, with 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was just under 3 hours. But I wasn't even upset about that because this is why I'm like, I don't care about that stuff. That just means something else is coming. Something else is actually here. I don't even think something else is coming. It's already here. It just hasn't been introduced. But with me getting fired, that had to happen. I wouldn't recommend anyone taking a 3-hour break. Like, only I would do that. Like, I would actually do that. We're almost at 20,000. We are continuing to tap until we get to 20,000. We are almost there. So, someone from the rep in California gave me the number for the rep in that area, DC, Virginia. And when I moved there, I called the person and said, hey, I've relocated. I'm a flight attendant, originally from California. I'm on reserve as a flight attendant, which means I know the days of the month that I'm going to work, but I don't know where I'm going. So I just fill in the schedule. Like if something cancels, they'll call us. If someone calls in sick, I go and replace that sick person. But it's kind of unpredictable, and you are starting at the bottom of the pay scale. But I can make everything work. I don't care how much I'm getting paid. I will make everything work. But I contacted this person because as a makeup artist contracted out from that brand, I was making like $45 or $50 an hour. So regardless of whenever I was flying, I called the person and said, hey, I'm relocating. Can I almost be on an on-call basis for when I'm off? I'll call you, and if you need an artist, you can have me come in. And they're like, absolutely, sure, yeah, you should, yeah, absolutely. So I went in, I met them, and so I had that as a secondary thing on my off days or when I came in. I would work for the Lancome in the different malls and like Macy's and Dillard's, and it was a huge supplement to my income. So I always tell people, because there will be new flight attendants that will say, you know, I looked at the pay scale and I can't make that work. Like, you don't know what you can do. You're thinking from your current thoughts, everything, your current circumstances, like, you are able to do more if you want it. So I never looked at the starting salary as like, I can't do that. Man, I can make everything work. And I just believe that. I just believe that. But the skill of makeup artistry also brought that additional easy revenue stream where I love makeup. I'm good at makeup. Then on top of me being paid to do the makeup, I'm meeting people in the area. Because a lot of times when people move somewhere, that's what they fear. Like, how am I going to meet people? And a lot of times you meet people where you work. And with makeup, it was always great because I was always around like cool women coming to get a perfume or coming to get their makeup done or looking around. Like, especially in the early 2000s, the cosmetic and makeup counters in Macy's was like, that was the cool hip place. And now it's just, I don't even know how they survive. Because back in the day, that's when people actually used to go into the makeup counters. And so anyway, my friend Megan came in one day and she was looking for some mascara. And it was her and this other guy. And I was like, oh yeah, here's some mascara. I have the best mascara. I like to use Lancome Hypnose. I love that. Lancome Hypnose. I mean, almost all of my makeup today is from Lancome. The lip color is from Lancome. The mascara is from Lancome. And the lip color is also on my eyes. I use the lipstick on my eyes, and I use the lipstick as a blush. I love that. It's so simple and monochromatic. You use your lipstick as a cream blush with a brush. And then also you just put a little on your eyes. And it's like perfect. It all just blends. That's the type of makeup artist I am. I like those simple, like a beautiful lipstick. You may invest in this lipstick. It may not be, it could be that beautiful $50 lipstick, but I don't think of it as only a $50 lipstick. This is like my lipstick. It's my cream blush. It's my shadow. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's like, I don't care about how much I'm spending. I'm looking at all of the benefits. So Lancome Hypnose, which was my favorite, it still is. It's a great volumizing mascara. Thank you for liking the live. We're almost at 20,000, okay? And that is the goal, 20,000 likes. And so I would wear Hypnose, 2 coats of Hypnose with the Seals Booster. That is Lancome's primer. Mascara primer. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so I recommended that to this girl, Megan, like, oh my gosh, girl, it will look like this. And then we started talking, and Megan's like 2 years younger than me, but she's from Jersey. She's a Jersey girl. She moved to DC from New Jersey to go to Howard. She played lacrosse. And she was like a journalism major, and she was so much fun. Like we just started talking. I was like, I just moved here. Would you like to go out and get some wine? She was like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. She was amazing. Megan is amazing. And so I called her when I got off that night and was like, hey, I was living in Thomas Circle, downtown DC at the time. And I called her. I was like, I live downtown. I just got off. Do you want to go to eat? And she was like, yeah. And she had the cutest baby bins, that hatchback bins. And we went and we got like Thai and like a bottle of wine. And it was like so much fun. Because it was like a girlfriend and we just talked and we laughed. And we would drink so much wine. I used to drink so much wine. There's a reason why I don't drink. I love to drink, but we would have the best time. But Megan would like, uh, there was this place we would go to on Thursdays. There was buy one bottle, get one bottle of wine free. And we would go their happy hour. You buy one bottle, you get a bottle free. So you get 2 bottles. And even if you like, I guess maybe we were paying $50 a bottle, maybe 30. This was like in 2006. So how much were we paying? I don't know. It didn't matter. We were going to buy the bottle and get another bottle for free. Maybe it was like $18. I don't remember. But we would talk because I would tell her about my trips. And she was going to Howard and she was an intern at CNN. And so we had such different lives, but at the same time. Like we were the same age, or as I said, I was like 2 years older than her. But we would go and we would have so much fun. And I would go and hang out with her family who lived in right outside of Princeton, New Jersey. And Megan was just she would always have we weren't chasing dreams. We were just living an amazing life. We were just, I never really see it as chasing. Because if you're chasing something, why are you chasing? That means it's like running away from you. I'm not chasing anything. I don't chase. If it's the choice of chasing, I'm never going to chase. I don't chase anything. And it is a gung-ho life. Like, that means I got to make it work. Because I will only do what I want to do. And I make great choices. The other thing is I do make great choices, but whatever choice I make, I will thrive through any choice. And it was amazing. I'm 22. I'm living in DC. I'm a flight attendant. I have my flight attendant life. She has her CNN life and her Howard life. She played lacrosse. We would go shopping. We would go to the spa on off days. It was like my first real girlfriend. And we would go to crazy parties. I remember there was this guy. She was like, Hope, there's this guy with this, where was she? She worked at this restaurant in DC, in the Kempton Hotel in DC. And she was a server. And it's a boutique hotel. If you know Kimptons, Kimptons are great boutique hotels. They're consistent, they're cool. I like Kimpton as a brand. I really appreciate their properties. And if you know, you know, but most people don't know cool places to stay. And so she worked there, and she would get guys who would want to take her out, and she would always bring me along. So one time she said, this guy came into the restaurant and he wants to take me out. And so, will you come with me? And I was like, okay, of course, of course. That's what you do. And so we went to, it was a very nice restaurant in DC. And the food was great, the time was great. Like it was cool. They weren't like repulsive. But then we had drank a lot. And when they went to take us home, the guy who invited her out on the date exposed himself to her. And she was like, that was so gross. I was like, yeah, that really was. That was gross, man. Why do you think after, just because, I don't know, but I know everyone was inebriated and driving fast, and it probably wasn't safe. But it was really funny because it was just out of no, it was funny. We had some really fun times. Then she has unfortunate events. So that happened. One time she had met Dan Rather. She had spent the day with Dan Rather. And so she came to meet me. And we were actually going like to this club. So we were going to eat, and then we were going to the club. So I meet her after she spends the day interviewing Dan Rather. I'm on an off day in DC. I'm off from flying. I meet her at a restaurant, and she's in like a mock turtleneck. So a mock turtleneck sweater, pearls, like her whole neck is covered up, and like a wool librarian skirt that's below her knees, and like librarian heels. She's wearing this because she's professional, but she looked like a librarian. And she kept trying to roll her turtleneck into her shirt because she was like, oh, we're going to the club. I'm dressed like a librarian. And I said, I know. All you can do is try to tuck the turtleneck into your sweater. Like, just tuck it in. And she was so full of discontent. She was like, "Ah, I look like a librarian and I got these pearls." I was like, well, do you have a change of clothes? She said no. So she was feeling so uncomfortable because we went to the club. We went to Love, which used to be the go-to spot in DC. And she looked like a librarian. What's up, Chicago? Oh, I have so many cool stories about Chicago. So we get into the club, and she's feeling so like full of discontent because she is wearing a turtleneck and pearls and a wool skirt that covers her knees to the club. And we walk in, and as she's walking into the club, her heel breaks. She's just walking, she's like, oh, and her heel breaks just out of nowhere. It was hilarious because I was like, how does that happen? Your heel just collapsed? Like, that doesn't happen. That would never happen to me. How is it that your heel collapsed? She was like, oh. And the best best part, no, the funniest part is she was stepping down. So we walked into the club and you step down onto like the dance floor. And when she stepped down onto the dance floor, she was like, oh, and that's when her heel broke. It was hilarious because it was right when she hit impact. And I was laughing. I was like, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. How does your heel break? So she was limping because she had no heel and one heel, and she had to go out to the car. And I was laughing so hard the whole entire time. That was hilarious. Your shoe broke right as you stepped down onto the dance floor. That is hilarious. Um, sh- we 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 had a lot of fun. So yes, I met her through being makeup artist when I moved to DC because again, I saw I saw that job as makeup artist. It was more than just like makeup artist. It helped me naturally meet people in the area because flight attendants like live all over the place. And it is nice when you can kind of situate yourself in an area. Um, and it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I did that for like 2 years, a year and a half. And then I moved to London because again, I liked DC, but DC wasn't it. Like DC was great. DC was fun. DC had its time. DC was like DC, I had a great time. Amazing memories, amazing people. Like it's an amazing place. But I knew, okay, I want bigger. Like I don't want and really I don't want LA. I don't want San Francisco. I don't want anywhere on the West Coast. I don't want Chicago. Naturally, the next place you would go is New York. I don't like New York. It's out of the country. There's levels to this. No, it's not if. It will never be that. I just moved to a place with a beach. That's the thing. I'm not saying if it would. No, I'm going to the place that actually has the beach. That is the best life. I've lived in all these places. Living by a beach is just amazing. But I've lived everywhere. I lived in DC. I lived in London. I lived in Paris. I was always in Paris. I lived in these places. It's not visiting. Like there's blocks of years that was my entire life. So sometimes there's like expiration dates on places. A lot of times when you may feel like a stagnancy, you've outstayed. You actually need to move more than you think. Energetically, everywhere has great beaches, but that doesn't mean anything. Go see them. Go see them. I don't want to hear about it. I want to see it. So, yeah. What's up, 3WP Rashad? And Chicago, I spent a lot of time in. This is for YouTube Live, Hope is Speaking YouTube Live. If you have not subscribed to me on YouTube, you can go to Hope is Speaking on YouTube. No, I live by a beach. See, I get all of that, but like, I still do it. It carries a different weight when You say, hey, I've seen this. This is great. Like if you're hearing about it, it's calling you for a certain reason. Now I'm going to see. But yeah, London, Paris, New York. And New York is like, I'm biased because I don't like the US. The US is not a cool place to me. It is not cool. The only place that I love in the US to live is um, Hawaii. And that's where I live. So New York like doesn't have benefit, but I've also lived there. So this comes from a lived experience. Um, Hawaii is just amazing. And sometimes you just find your place, but go and find your place. And places are great for a certain amount of time, but I know places that the energy is just off. I know places where I just don't like, I'm not going to live there because of the energy, it's off. I've been so many places that you feel energy in places, and some places are just off. But you have to go to see if it feels off. I wouldn't say don't go because it feels off. You go and see how it feels to you. This is only how it feels to me. That actually doesn't mean anything. Just go experience it. Um, and New York just isn't that great. Yeah, the point of life is to experience. I am going to experience. Thank you, Deluxe Johnson. I'm going to experience, but this is all I've known. I've thugged it out. You see? So I don't know this. Thank you, Daniel Solomon, 7775, for sharing the live. I don't know anything but living a cool life. Now, it comes with what it comes with, but what else am I going to do? I got to live a cool life. I'm just determined to do it. Whatever circumstance came, I can navigate that circumstance. But again, this comes back to the confidence. My confidence is only because I've just been determined to live the life I want to live. Not that I think I can do. Not that I've been doing for this long so it works out. No, I don't care. Sometimes I got to leave a place. Sometimes I got to choose me over a job. Sometimes for me, it's worth it to try something new. It's always worth it. But that means choosing yourself and always choosing yourself. You know when it's no longer like for you. And it may even take, this is with anything. This is with like a relationship, a job, anything. You know when something is no longer for you. It just isn't. And maybe something in you is calling. Put what? Put what on a shirt? It's all worth it. It's always worth it, but I just don't believe most people are living the life they want to live. A lot of people are just bitter and in instances that they believe that they can only do because there's no other option. The other option is me figuring it out. But I'm not going to continuously do something that I know I don't want to do. or I'm not fully 100%. If I'm not fully 100%, I'm not going to do it. I will only do what I really want to do. But you can also find a lesson in just learning how to do something. There's always like something else. Um, that we can shift our focus. Well, I understand that. Yeah, there's a lot to be doom and gloom about. But so I don't care what other people think of their life. You still get to choose. If that's the outlet you choose or the expectancy, then okay, that has nothing to do with me. You probably won't even be invited into my space. I don't attract people like that. Maybe in mild forms, but people like that aren't around me. I'm too bright of a light. So there's that. I don't attract those types. I mean, even I just attract great people, great men. I always say that, and I do. And I said that to someone earlier. I said that to someone earlier. This guy who sells the final call. I go for my walk, and this guy sells the final call. And brother, I forgot his name. I don't remember his name. I don't remember. It's not, I just know he's always excited to see me, and he is great. And when I lived in Newark, I would always have the guys who sold the final call, like they all knew me. They all made, like, looked after me. If they saw me with my bags or walking in the snow or like getting in, they always like were a protection for me. So what did I tell him? I told him that he was a reflection of my father because he had a beautiful starched collar. And my dad always had pressed shirts. He would have heavily starched, collared, he would have all of his shirts pressed, and he would always get a heavily starched collar. So it like stood up straight up. It was heavily starched, his whole shirt, but really his collar. And the guy selling the final call, his collar was like heavily starched. And it reminded me of my dad. And I was like, that's greatness. I see that greatness because you pay attention. Especially a beautifully pressed shirt. I love a pressed shirt. Like, that's so beautiful. A man in a beautiful pressed shirt with a ironed collar. Because I told the guy, I said, a lot of these ragamuffins, they ain't ironing. They don't even have an iron. They don't even have an iron, let alone iron like a beautiful pressed shirt. Like a French press shirt, there's a difference. It's beautiful, it's sexy, with beautiful cologne. And like, come on. And he reflected that. And I said, that's like my father. Because these ragamuffins don't know how to iron their shirts. And he started laughing. He was like, I'm going to have to use that. Ragamuffins, I'm going to have to use that. Thank you. um, I love a pressed shirt. I love a man in a beautiful, like well-made, tailored shirt. That is lovely. Or even like a vintage tee that is pressed. Like it, you can tell it's been ironed. Like this is a beautiful vintage tee, but like, and lovely, like cologne that is not massively produced, just like an air of confidence. It's just wonderful. Love that. What haven't you heard in a minute? Haven't heard that word in a minute. What word? What word? A jewelry selection. Do not insult me like that, Sultan Chill Professor. Follow me. First of all, you have to follow me. Do not insult me like that. That is an insult. I am not. And that's why you guys are idiots, because you say something like that. If you, no, you're an idiot for calling me that. How dare you reduce me to that? New York would never birth something this great. Yes, New York is an insult. That, yes. Oh, ragamuffins? Yeah, ragamuffins. These people are ragamuffins. I told my mom, I was like, some of these people are poopy heads. Like, some of y'all are just ragamuffins. Why? Because it's a horrible place. And I'm from California. Do not ever reduce me to New York. New York is reduced to us. That's the truth. Everyone wants to live in California. Everyone wants to visit California. People want to visit New York, but California, all you can think of is California girls. There is that for a reason. California, I am a, do not insult me. We are just different. New York could never. No, New York isn't cool to me though. New York, and I've lived in New York, but I've also lived in London. And I've also lived in Paris. And I also live in Hawaii. And I also lived in DC. And I've also lived in all these other things. And I've also traveled the world and been to 70 countries. New York, out of the world, is not in my top anything. I like Tel Aviv. I used to fly Tel Aviv all the time. However, the whole world is my place. Like, it's not one place, it's the entire world. But I've been to the entire world, but everyone wants a California girl. We are just prized treasures. Really, there is nothing. A California girl? Lethal. The baddest California girl would crush the baddest girl from New York. They're too rough. They don't understand the beauty of the sun and the lands of California. Are you crazy? You must be for you haven't been anywhere. That's also the thing. Let me call people out, because a lot of even that, you haven't traveled enough to even say that. There's certain people that actually, like, I've lived that life where I can actually really know where people are from because I've lived there. But also, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you live. It's actually how you live. I know a lot of lame clowns that live in New York, but how they live. Like, New York isn't a cool place because of how people live. I don't know. I don't care. I am not, I don't know. But, well, all I'm saying is California girls are the dreamiest specimens on the planet. We just are. We just have a mystique. We just have a look. So that's what I'm saying. It's all of that, and um New York isn't cool. Like, New York is I guess it's cool for a US city, but it's like gross, and the quality of life. Like New York is fun. I've had a lot of fun in New York, but I would much rather pick any other city in the world than to live in New York. New York is great in the spring, the beginning of summer, but even New York stopped being cool years ago. Like, but still, New York isn't cool. And California is always better. So that's why it's an insult. Thank you for sharing the live. Um, you don't get to tell me what to do. I told you New York in the springtime is cool. New York in the springtime is cool, and parts of the fall, but summertime, like it's too hot. Um, Definitely not the winter. The winters are terrible, but New York is still the US. So to me, it's still, it's not cool. It's not a cool place. I'd much rather be in like Buenos Aires or uh, Mexico City. Everything has a soul. It's not, but done all of these places all over the world. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying it not enough for me to. I That's like a hard life. I have to have. Thank you for my galaxy. Um, New York isn't cool. Like, just New York just isn't cool. But I've been these places a lot of times. People haven't experienced this life. I've lived between two places. I've lived between London and New York. Like, I was actually living between London and New York. Thank you for my woolly hat. Most people aren't living between London and New York in their 20s with, you don't even know what that feels like. A place is a place that you can. I still believe it's not where you live, it's how you live. Because you can live anywhere and not live like a cool, fulfilling life. Thank you for the level up, Sparks. And thank you. Um, yeah, I actually like that when you up and you move to a different place. Like, I do know when it's almost like mastery, like I've learned what I needed to learn from here. But out of all of the places I've been to, I'm always going to travel a lot. So I'm always going to travel months out of the year. But my home base will be only where I want to live. And that's always a warm tropical place. Now, there could be different home bases, but there was a home base and then there's still consistent travel. So, yeah, New York weather isn't, New York is just, New York's not it. I still will always choose to live somewhere beautiful and warm with water. Okay, I made these delicious cookies. They are so chewy and delicious. Chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to drink my water. Thank you. Thank you. And I feel beautiful. Of course I am beautiful. Of course. That's why I said, listen, they make them different in California. I don't care what they say. They make them different in California. Like Beyonce says, look at my mom, it's a trait. Like, look at my mom. I look at my mom like this is just a trait. My mom looks great. She lives great. She had an amazing man she was taken care of. All she does is shop now. Yes, we were sad that my dad died, but she has not, she still lives a great life. As a man, that's exactly what you want. Like, even when I leave you, your life is as great as it was when I was here. Like, your life ain't changing. I'm still here. My dad taught me that. That's why I could walk away if that's not the goal, where you are a man and you set up your family for success. Stuff happens, yes. But if you have a foundation which takes vision, like you gotta have vision. My dad had vision. He was like, all right, I love this woman. This is what I'm gonna do. I got these girls. I am teaching them the right way. I am pouring love into them. I'm showing them like, nah, this is what mofos do. If they don't do this, you choose you. Because you choosing you will always give you what you want. You choosing you will always give you what you want. I'm not waiting on you to choose it for me. I am already what I want. So if I love me, I love me more than I love you. I'm always going to love me more than I love you. And because of that, I love me, I got to go love me. And I'm being serious about that vision. Because I was saying, yeah, with dad, I would talk to my dad about speaking engagements. And my dad would say, I would say, Dad, you know, I would love to have like land where I can do my speaking engagements. And my dad was like, yeah, but you buy an estate. You can buy an estate and you can actually build the space where you speak or where you have your retreat, but then you have other acres where you have your home. And then you can use this as a certain tax write-off. But you actually have a ranch and where you speak and you host people. Like you can do that. That's what my dad would talk to me about. Like, yeah, because, you know, if you, I mean, because I said, Dad, yeah, I saw one. I don't know. It might have been like, I don't know, in the millions. But my dad was like, yeah. And then, you know, you can build other houses, but it's a tax write-off. Like, I was allowed to dream. But why not go for that? And yeah, so I would have those talks with my dad, but even in my dad's passing, like, that's how this man set up his family. Where you set up your family, like, that's vision. I'm sharing this because I commend my dad for that. So many times people lose someone in their family and the family falls apart just because you just didn't have the knowledge. But if you have the knowledge, the steps that it takes to say, okay, even when I'm not here, my wife is okay. My wife has a home. My wife still maintains the same lifestyle, even when I'm not here. I like that. That means that exists. And if it's not that, then it's me. Does that make sense? Yeah, my dad was a G. He made me a G. So I'm always going to choose me. So choose yourself. Definitely choose yourself. That's it. I am going to go and have a cookie and rest. And thank you to everyone that came on my YouTube live and liked my TikTok Voice of Hope live. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, Hope is Speaking on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my TikTok, Hope is Speaking at TikTok. And we've had a great night. Yeah, a great evening. Oh, well, the next week it's going to be... Life is just beautiful for me. Yeah. Life is just beautiful. Good night. Thank you to all the gifters. Thank you to everyone who followed. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube.